Testing, testing.
Testing.
What's up, everyone?
What's up, people?
Hey, guys, it's Alex and Dre. We are here to tell you our birth story.
Share a little bit about both of our
babes.
Our journeys, getting them out here.
I figured Dre should be on this too because he was a big part of it, obviously.
Huge.
Major.
Huge.
We have our cute little mics, just so you can hear us through these sound machines and hushers in this household. Okay, yeah, so we have two gorgeous little girlies, Gigi and Rumi. Their names are Georgia and Rumor, but we call them Gigi and Rumi. They're the best things ever. Gigi's almost going to be 2 in 2 weeks, which is insane. And then Rumi is 8 weeks old as of right now. She's napping in the other room. But yeah, we just wanted to come on. I guess I mostly did and made Dre be in this video with me. But I wanted to tell my two drastic different experiences with their births and how I wish I knew more the first time around. And maybe this video will help someone who is a first-time mom about to give birth. And just how I wish I knew more to advocate for myself and just kind of educated myself more on certain things the first time around. So I guess we will just get started with Gigi's birth. So I was like 3 days past my due date when my water broke. I was parking the car to get a prenatal massage, and I was like leaning forward to get out, and pop, there goes my water.
You just got off the phone with me because we were just FaceTiming.
Yes.
Yeah, I was on the way home from work. You were just FaceTiming me. You were about to pull up, and then next thing you know,
called you right back.
Call me. Yeah.
Freaking out.
2-3 minutes
I was
later.
like, oh my gosh, my water broke. Sadly, I couldn't get the massage, but they understood. So I called my doctor right away, and she was like, okay, go home and shower. Take your time, kind of get your hospital bag ready and come on in. So we got to the hospital, I think like 3 hours after my water broke, and was in triage for forever, way too long.
I felt like, I mean, it's my first time, but it was like,
it wasn't even busy. I'm like, what's taking forever? Finally, though, we got up, and of course, the nurse, they're like, come on up and we'll get labor started. We're just going to put you on pitocin and things will get moving. And it was the longest labor ever. It was almost 22 hours before I started pushing. They just kept upping the pitocin, and yeah, I just dilated really slowly. So finally, it was time to push, and I pushed for like 2.5 hours. And I know they say that's very common for your first baby. So I'm just kind of thinking everything's fine and normal. And it was definitely getting very long, and we didn't sleep because we got to the hospital at like 7 p.m. So that whole night, I mean, Dre slept a little, but I was not sleeping. And so, yeah, we finally pushed I pushed the next night at like, what time? 5 something. I forget.
It was probably about 4-ish.
Yeah.
Pushed 30-ish, 4-ish.
Pushed for 2.5 hours. She came out, and it was so exciting. I mean, honestly, best moment of my entire life. Everything I thought it would be, honestly. It was a long process.
We didn't find out the gender until...
Yes, my dogs are barging in, so excuse them.
We didn't find out the gender until delivery, which was awesome. I totally recommend that. It's just an amazing experience. You don't get so many surprises in life, and it
was an insane out-of-body experience for sure. So then after that, I delivered my placenta, and everything kind of was going smoothly until that point, and things started getting a little hectic in the delivery room, and nurses started coming in, and I noticed my doctor getting a little anxious and trying to get my bleeding to stop, and it wasn't stopping. So I was hemorrhaging, postpartum hemorrhage, and she could not get it to stop, so she called in another doctor. And that was honestly like the most painful, worst moment of the whole thing, was the doctors physically going in, trying to scrape membranes out, TMI, to get my body to stop providing blood to my uterus. So it was just a crazy time. I remember seeing Gigi over on the warming table by herself. Dre didn't really know what to do.
Yeah, I'm like lost. Like, I didn't know if this was like protocol or what's going on. As I saw the doctors kind of started getting, having a little bit more attention to Alex, like anesthesiologists coming in and like different people coming in, I saw that the tension in the room shifted, and I'm like, oh boy, what's happening? Like, this is serious. And my born baby girl is on the table over here. It's like supposed to be a happy moment, and I don't know
Yeah.
what to do. Like I'm
By
supposed to be like,
herself. I remember no one was
yeah, like
around
we
her. That
weren't
was
even
weird.
around her for like the first like 4 or 5 minutes because I'm like kind of like worried about you. Not kind of. I was very worried about you,
Yeah.
and yeah, I didn't know what to do. It was
Yeah.
very scary.
So they started giving me medication to get the bleeding
Yeah.
to stop. They like injected my thighs with medication. They put pills in you where they don't need to be. And it was just like a lot at once. And I totally blacked out. I don't remember really anything from that point. I think I started coming back to a little like what 3 4 hours later
Something like
it
that.
felt like a
Yeah.
very long time. Our family was super worried because I had told my sister and my mom, our mother-in-law, that
Yeah. We
we
told
started
everyone that we were
pushing.
pushing. Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of sent out a text right when we were starting to push, so they didn't hear from us for hours, which was terrifying. And it was just overall like a very scary experience. And we were in the hospital the next day, really just kind of trying to recover and get my hemoglobin back up and, doing all the things you're supposed to do with a hemorrhage. And the day we're supposed to leave, a resident comes in and says that I need a blood transfusion. Is a male resident that we've never even seen before,
Yeah.
says we need a blood
Blood
transfusion.
transfusion. Yeah.
And we're like packing our bags because they told us we were leaving. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. Like, we wanted to go home so badly, you
Yeah.
guys. We were
So
so
over
over
that
being
hospital.
there. Oh my gosh. Um, so luckily there was a nurse in the room when he was in the room that was like, you don't have to do the transfusion. You could always do iron infusions. My hemoglobin was just below where they needed it to be in order to leave the hospital. So I ended up denying the blood transfusion and did
Getting
iron
the iron. Yeah.
infusions. Obviously, this is just our story. We're not giving anyone any
Yeah.
medical advice. Definitely talk with your doctor. This is just what we chose to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we denied that and
The
went
iron was
home.
quicker. If we
Yeah.
would have done the blood transfusion, we'd have been in there longer. Iron was quicker. We could have gone home that day.
Yeah.
Probably would have had to stay another night if we
Yeah.
had have done
We would
the
have, yeah.
blood transfusion. Yeah.
Because by the time they test your blood after you have the transfusion, it was just such a long thing. And I was
Yeah.
so bummed because I did not want to be there any longer. Um, so yeah, we went home. The recovery was way long with Gigi. I mean, I bled for like 12 weeks. I was very fainty everywhere we went. Couldn't really go for a walk. I mean, it was just like pretty miserable. But got through it.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't even make it to the end of the block
Yeah.
without like feeling
Feeling
like
like
you
I
were
was going
about
to
to.
faint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a very long recovery. So,
Mhm.
cut to 13 months later, she's pregnant again.
Pregnant again. How
What the
in the
hell,
hell
Dre?
did we
What
do
in the
that?
hell, Dre? Wasn't planned. However, it was planned by God. So,
Man, my God.
God's timing, and we're so grateful, honestly, to be able to get pregnant so easily. And so 8 weeks ago, gave birth to Rumor Stone. And this story is crazy. So, guys, on my little journey postpartum, I got very into like holistic wellness. I was very, very obsessed with like checking hormones, and I
Hmm.
was working with like a holistic medicine doctor.
Yeah.
Not a doctor. Why am I calling her a doctor? But anyway, she did like certain testing on me, and I just got really, really into wellness, and I really wanted to feel amazing about
Well, you were
myself.
very much so into wellness before we got pregnant with Rumor.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Um,
about. That time period.
oh, okay, okay, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about like during the pregnancy.
Oh
You were
gosh.
okay, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. So that is when, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
just sort of obsessed with like wellness and hormones and decided to go off birth control and just do the Natural Cycles app, linked to my Aura ring, and got pregnant. Didn't listen to it very well. But anyway, so this time around for delivery, I knew I wanted a more natural approach to everything, especially after learning. We didn't even tell them, like, after learning how and why things happened the way they did with Gigi.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, they said my uterus was so tired from the pitocin contractions for 20 some hours that it just gave out at the end, and it
Mhm.
wasn't strong enough to spit everything out with the baby. So my body kept supplying blood to my uterus.
And some things held on, and they shouldn't have when they should have
Yeah.
exited the situation.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So my
your uterus
uterus
was
was just
just
so weak.
exhausted. It
Yeah.
was just
From the pitocin. So this time I was like, I really don't want any pitocin in my body. Like, I'm so against pitocin now at this point, just because I had such a negative experience. I really wanted a more natural experience. So I was thinking about doing an unmedicated birth for a few months. I was looking into
Mm.
hypnobirthing and just like I was just really reading up on like wanting a more natural experience this time around. And the more I decided, I was actually seeing a different OBGYN out by our house. And basically halfway through the pregnancy, I decided I wanted to switch to a midwife group and deliver at a whole different hospital. I just sort of felt like I had a little PTSD. I wanted a whole new
Yeah,
experience.
rightfully so. I mean, that was very traumatic.
Yeah. So we ended up picking a different hospital. I got a midwife who I felt like it was just a more personable experience with her just from like the moment I met her, and I was really excited. I did decide I'll just do the epidural again just because I was so terrified of like if I were to hemorrhage again, which they say is kind of likely if you've hemorrhaged before. I just did not want no epidural for the process of scraping the membranes out. It freaked me out too much. So anyway, I decided I'll just do an epidural this time. So my due date's approaching and she's still not here. We didn't know the gender again, so not sure if it was a boy or girl. And it's 40 weeks, still nothing happening. We are doing all the things, spicy food, curb walking. I mean, like everything you could Google to try to get yourself to go into labor, we did.
Yeah.
I did, but it just wasn't
Coming
happening.
up with different dates. We're thinking that she's gonna
Yes, we thought
arrive. We thought
52525
525.
would be so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, 41 weeks came, and that morning I had a 41
41 week
week
appointment.
appointment.
Yeah.
So I go into my appointment and they check me, and I was like, I wanted another membrane sweep. I had gotten one at 40 weeks as well. And so she goes to check my cervix and she's like, Alex, you're 5 centimeters dilated. And I'm like, what? I'm just out here walking around 5 centimeters, like not really feeling it, you know? And the midwife explained to me that like after 41 weeks, it does get a little dicey with the placenta. Like you want it to still provide nutrients to the baby and it could become more weak after 41 weeks. So she was like, honestly, if you just go over to the hospital, I promise you, like they might give you a tiny bit of pitocin just to kickstart your labor, but your body is already halfway there. Like you're gonna just have this baby
Mind
so
you,
much
we
quicker.
are very against pitocin, like even the word.
The word. It's just like everything about it just felt so forced. And I really wanted my body to go into labor, hence why I even went to 41 weeks. So I was like, you know what? I want it to be a safe process for the baby mostly. So I was like, all right, let's do this. Call Dre. He's at work. We meet at home like an hour after this appointment and we pack our bag and go to the hospital. Get to the hospital at 1:50 p.m.
Yeah.
And yeah, they gave me a tiny bit of pitocin. I'm like laboring on the ball.
Pitocin, yeah. Like, well, they started pitocin at 2.
Yeah, they started
And
pitocin at 2.
and I asked the question. I was like, well, what are they? How do you go up with pitocin? Like, what are the increments you go up with? And she was like, well, we go up like every 2, and or how? And now I asked, what does it go up to? Like, because we're
Oh
ready
yeah,
to kind of
yeah,
like have this baby.
yeah. We
And
like
I was
crank
like,
it up.
how can it go or whatever? Because we're at a 2. She said, yes, it goes up to 20. And I was like, well, we're at a 2. Like, can we up it? Like,
Yeah.
so the nurse comes in. She ups it, and
It's funny now we're telling them to up it.
yeah.
We were so afraid of like having another 24-hour labor experience that we were like, okay, we're here. Like I'm 5 centimeters. You can give us a little bit more to get things going. So yeah, she upped it. Sure enough, I'm like laboring on the ball, and my contractions were bad, but not at all. I mean, it was fine. Like I was talking through them. I'm talking before my water broke.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I was about to say, okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So my water breaks as I'm laboring on the ball. And it was crazy though. I like actually felt like a pop. And then 5 seconds later, it was like gushing out. So you guys, after my water broke, I was telling her I need the epidural like ASAP. Like these contractions are coming on so hard.
Yeah,
And our
strong.
nurse, who I loved so much, God, she was just her energy, everything about her I loved. Poor girl had to tell me. I was at a smaller hospital this time, so there weren't that many anesthesiologists. And she had to tell me the bad news that
Shawty, you got to do this by yourself.
yeah. So
Shawty,
the
you getting this one.
anesthesiologist was in the OR doing a
Mm.
C-section. And she said she won't be out for 20 minutes. And so I'm like, oh my God, 20 more minutes of these contractions. I'm telling you, like after my water broke, my contractions went from like a 4 to a 12, like past a 10. They were so painful, you guys, like within the matter of seconds. So I'm just like, oh my God, I have 20 more minutes. Like, I can do this. I can do this. And sure enough, you
Well, they were
guys.
telling us that you had to completely drain that whole bag of
Oh,
IV.
yes. You have to drain your bag of water, your IV, before you can even get the epidural. But
Mm-hmm.
I still wouldn't have even had time. Yeah. By the time that the anesthesiologist came. So I felt the urge to push, like out of nowhere. Like, I'm like,
Yes.
I have to
Like,
push.
no, you were saying, I'm pushing. And they were like, you're not supposed to be pushing, but
The nurse was like, some contractions make you feel like you need to push. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you guys, it was so dramatic. I can't even. Within the matter of minutes, I am on all fours on the table, pushing this baby out with no
go back.
epidural.
Hold on. Let's go. We're going to back up a little bit here. Go back to what you were supposed to be, what I was supposed to be doing for you during all these contractions.
Oh my gosh. So when I was practicing the hypnobirthing journey, the first few months of pregnancy, I read that like you should have affirmations for your spouse to say to you. You should have some lavender lotion, just things that will like make you feel at peace and anything to help
Um,
you through your contractions.
yeah.
So
Well, I
I'm
have this
telling,
list of affirmations in front of me, like
yeah,
going to read them to her, telling her, okay, you can do this. Your body's made for this. Like, you're powerful, you're strong, like
all the things
just
a
all
girl
the
wants
things.
to
Have
hear, right?
this what the lavender in front of you, like having you sniff
The
it, smell it, the
fan on
fan going.
me. Okay. When those contractions before I got on the table hit, I was like, Dre, if you don't shut the up right now, I'm going to like murder you. The nurses were talking, and I was like, I'm so sorry, everyone. Like, I need you to stop talking. I couldn't even like that by far was the hardest part was the contractions before the pushing. The lavender lotion I like whipped across the room. He wanted the fan on me and I was like, "Yeah, the fan." Luckily this one nurse, remember she came over to me and was like, "Look at me. This is how you're going to breathe." And she like had me lock in and she
Yeah,
taught me a breathing technique that honestly saved me. Thank God for her because I felt so out of control because I was not prepared to do unmedicated.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, back at the table on all fours within 3 to 5 pushes,
yeah. 5 minutes,
Rumi was
we
born.
had a baby. Yeah,
We were at the hospital for 2.5 hours total before Rumi was born. And it was just such a different experience. And now when I look back on that, it was like everything I dreamt it would
what you
be.
wanted in the
Yeah.
beginning,
And what
and
I wanted, but didn't do out of fear, wasn't going to do out of fear, honestly. But this just showed me that like my body can do what it has to do. And like, of course, it was hard and it was all the things you would ever think of labor and delivery being. But looking back, I mean, with even without an epidural, I got up to go to the bathroom right away.
right.
I mean, my bleeding was 4 weeks
I
instead of
mean, more
12. I
power to
was
you
walking
women. I mean,
around.
y'all are made for this. You're made for that, and you. I mean,
Yeah.
you really handled it. I was so proud of you for that. That was
Thanks, babe.
amazing.
It
Yeah.
was insane, you guys. But yeah, looking back, it's just like, man, I'm so glad I let my body like, it got to 5 centimeters on its own. And like,
Mm-hmm.
even though I did have that like little boost of pitocin, it really was like prepared. I was seeing a chiropractor too, so everything was in alignment and she
Mm-hmm.
came out like honestly so easily. I didn't tear. It was like every dream that I would have wanted for a natural birth, that I didn't know I wanted, that came to me. But yeah, so just comparing the two different birth stories, it really was just like a night and day experience. And
It
it just
was.
shows me that, like, I think just doing things a more natural way, at least that's my opinion on it. Things just happen more seamlessly. And
Yeah, and also the recovery is night and day
yeah,
from
I
what
mean,
Gigi and Rumi, between Gigi and Rumi.
yeah.
Like, you got up, going to the bathroom, like, we're going on walks now,
Yeah, so
you
many
know.
things are different though. I think even my mental is different. I did encapsulate my placenta this time, and I really do feel like that's made a difference too.
Hmm.
Um, but overall, just such a better experience the second time around. And I know it being a second birth, like it can be faster and it can be easier, quicker recovery. But I think overall, like just making the decisions for myself and saying, like, there were so many times they wanted to induce me. And to be honest, my first OBGYN wanted to induce me at 39 weeks. And that's a huge part of why I switched to a midwife because, like, I knew I did not want that this time. Like, I knew my body could do it on its own.
Hmm.
And it did,
I
and
know
I'm
you
so
could too.
grateful.
It
But
was good.
yeah, so that is our experience, and I just wanted to share for anyone, wondering how it's going to go down. There's obviously a million ways. Every woman is different, every experience is different, but just wanted to share with you our two experiences and hope that you took something from it.
And
But
hopefully we're not going to be coming to you guys with another video soon. So
you said hopefully we are or aren't.
aren't.
Oh God. We have these fancy mics. We better.
No, I'm saying as
Oh
far.
shit, another birth video. Gosh. Yeah, let's take a pause on that one for
Yeah,
a minute.
we'll pause. We'll pause.
Well, we're going to go enjoy our little girlies, and thanks for tuning in. See you guys.